And hello, welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Show. This is episode 99. So 100 is just around the corner. In fact, it's this Thursday. So I hope you can join me this Thursday. This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. And in today's show, I'm going to be talking about Clubhouse, which everyone seems to be talking about at the moment. It's either something that's going to make you really excited, or you're thinking, oh, please, no, not more social networks, something else. Well, in this show, I'm going to be talking a little bit more. I want to talk openly about the pros and the cons. You know, Clubhouse is not going to be for everyone. Is it perfect? No, there are pros and cons. I will talk about those, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step walkthrough, as well as hopefully actually going live on the Clubhouse as well. And you might be thinking, well, what on earth is Clubhouse? You might be wondering about that. I can see Katie Simpson is here. I know that you're not asking that question, what is Clubhouse, because I know that you are using Clubhouse. So thank you for helping me earlier, Katie, of just playing around with a bit of a tech and bit of a tech thing. I can hear the printer in the background. That's anyway, one of those things. So yes, so if you are on Clubhouse, then you might want to just hop on over to there, and in about 25 minutes, I'll be going on to Clubhouse, and we'll have a bit of a chat on there as well, which is going to be great. So yeah, I've just to let you know, this is the live segment. If you're watching live, let me know in the comments, and I'd also want to know where in the world you're from, but also, are you going to be here on Thursday for the 3-hour extravaganza for the 100th episode of the Confident Live Marketing Show? I'm very excited because we've ordered balloons. Oh my goodness. And we've got cake, although I can't eat cake because I'm off sugar, but we're going to have cake and we're going to have lots of great fun there. So I can't wait for that. So in the comments, do get involved. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. How does Clubhouse make you feel? Does it make you feel, do you go yay or meh? Meh. I never know how to pronounce that word. It's not a British word. Does it make you excited, or does it make you feel, oh, I'd love to know about that. So I just want to know, just let me know if you can see this. I've been fiddling around. So hopefully this is going to work. So hopefully you can see my phone there. That's kind of working. Now hold on a minute. Is that? I think I'm gonna have to move over my. Let's just move that over slightly, and then technology. All right, let's just move that there. This is not what you want to do on the fly, but I think that's better. You can now all see that working in the background. So yeah, now one of the things that you can't do with Clubhouse, and I'll explain a bit more about Clubhouse when I start the actual recording for the show in a bit, but one of the things that you're not allowed to do, what they don't want you to do, is to record any rooms without people's permission. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go into rooms and let you hear any of the sounds, but when I create my own room, yes, I will be broadcasting that live. So obviously when you join that as a speaker, just bear that in mind, that you will be also broadcasting that as well. So let me know if you've got any questions and what your thoughts are on that, but that seems to be working really well. So I think that's it. I don't think I think I'm all sorted for everything. So I think it's time to get on with the show. Just checking. Yeah, cool. Right, I'll be with you after this. Hello, my name's Ian Anderson Gray, and in this episode of the Confident Live Marketing Show, I'm talking about how to get started with the new darling of audio chat apps, Clubhouse. So I'll see you just after this.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello and welcome to episode 99 of the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. This is the show that helps you level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. We go live every Tuesday and Thursday to a plethora of different destinations. If you're listening to the podcast, the show notes for this episode will be at iag.me/99. And if you're watching the replay, do put hashtag replay in the comments and let me know where in the world you are watching from. And of course, if you're listening to the podcast and if you want to be involved in the live show and, get involved and leave comments and chat away, then you can do that. All you need to do is go to confident.live/subscribe. That's confident.live/subscribe. And I'll let you know next time I'm going to be going live. Well, in today's show, I'm going to be talking about how to get started with Clubhouse. You might be wondering what on earth Clubhouse is. Well, I'm going to be talking to you about that today. To let you know, this episode today is sponsored by Agorapulse and Restream. So just a little bit about Agorapulse. Agorapulse is my favorite social media management tool. It's awesome. I've been using it from probably around 2014, 2015. So that's 5-6 years. And I wouldn't be without it. It's an amazing tool that allows you to integrate with all your different social networks, Facebook, even YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. It allows you to have a social inbox where all of your messages and your mentions and your comments will go into that into that box, and then you can get down to inbox zero, which is amazing. So you can go through those, you can reply, you can archive, you can designate to a team member and all that kind of stuff. And you can schedule, you can publish, you have reports. It's the most amazing platform out there for social media management. And they've got some amazing things coming up. They're changing their pricing. I'm not going to tell you any more about that, but there's some exciting things coming up very, very soon with Agorapulse. So if you want to find out more about Agorapulse, if you want to sign up for a free month to give it a test drive, all you need to do is go to agorapulse.com/confident live. That's agorapulse.com/confident live. Awesome. So if you are watching live, let me know what you think of Clubhouse. Does it make you feel excited, or maybe it makes you think, oh, not another network, or there's something about it that you don't like? Or maybe you're even wondering what Clubhouse is. You're thinking of Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. I don't know. Katie Simpson is in the house, and Katie says Clubhouse is cool as long as you don't let it take over your life. Lots of people have got an addiction and leave it on overnight. Yes. That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about. In fact, one of the advantages, that's actually one of the disadvantages, I think. So yeah, Clubhouse is a new exciting app. It's actually been around for quite a few months now, but I think it's an app that everyone is talking about right now. I joined at the beginning of December. In some ways, I was quite late on, but in some ways, I was actually quite early on. So now, because it is so exciting and everyone is talking about it, I think that can sometimes put people off. Because there is so much buzz, I think everyone is going on about it so much that people think, oh, really? Do I have to do this? And if that's you, I totally understand that. I've been feeling like that too. But I want to give you the pros and cons, because it might be good for your strategy for this year. It might not be, but you need to work that out. So let me know what you think. But yeah, it's definitely addictive. And I have seen people seemingly spend all their waking hours on it, over kind of the Christmas period. People are doing it on Christmas Day and all the time. Notifications popping up all the time. So first of all, you don't need to be on it. It's the same thing. You don't need to be on TikTok or Instagram. You don't need to be on all the networks. You need to make a decision what is best for you and for your audience and for your business. So what is Clubhouse? Now I'm going to give you a little walkthrough in a minute, but Clubhouse is an audio social chat app. It's a combination of quite a few things. And it's been backed by the prestigious venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, I think is how you pronounce it. And he got quite a lot of criticism last year, I believe, for not kind of addressing the issue with COVID and the lockdown in a lot of parts of the world. And this, in a sense, Clubhouse is the answer to that. It's a lot of us aren't able to meet in person. And so Clubhouse really fills that gap. It allows us all to come together to chat and to have that interaction, that either that one-to-one or that group interaction, which is awesome. Now, it's invite only at the moment. And part of that is probably a scalability point of view from them. They don't want the app to break, but also it creates that FOMO, of course, that fear of missing out. So everyone wants to be on that, and that's exciting. It's iOS only for now. I have seen on the homepage there is a Google Play, an Android option. I know they've hired Android developers, so I don't know whether it's out quite yet, but it is coming. But yeah, it's really replacing those physical meetups. Conferences and events aren't happening in person at the moment. And so it's replacing those physical meetups that we're not getting right now. It is an audio chat app. So you can create or you can join rooms and chat with others on a particular topic. So it's pretty good. I think Mark Schaefer puts it like this. It's like a cross between an audio podcast and a party or a meetup. So here are some advantages, and I'd love to know what you think about this. So advantages, you can chat and engage with professionals either within your industry, but probably more excitingly, you can interact with people outside your network. You can really expand and get to know lots of really cool people, which is awesome. It can be really spontaneous. Now, that's not always a good thing, but it's definitely one of the things I love about Clubhouse is the fact that it's very raw and intimate. I think intimacy is great. Now, I'll talk about this in a bit, but you can join lots of different rooms. Some rooms are massive. There are loads of people talking, and there are some smaller ones. I don't know about you, but I always prefer the smaller ones. I actually prefer to be in a smaller gathering, maybe because I'm more of an introvert. But I just think you can have deeper conversations in those smaller rooms. And for me, this year is my year of community. I'm interested not so much in creating a massive community. I'm interested in creating a smaller, more intimate and passionate community. So it is awesome for building community. And so if that is one of your words for this year, then you might want to check out Clubhouse. It certainly wasn't on my radar for my for my strategy for this year. But I quickly put it in. I'm going to be using Clubhouse a lot more. And I think that's a really important point here. Don't just get overly excited about a new network just because it is a new network and everyone's talking about it. Think about it from your point of view. Is this a good thing for your business and for your strategy? Is it going to actually meet a need? Are you going to be able to bring value to your audience and build a community that way? So, and the great thing is if you host a room, it's your rules. Obviously, there are the Clubhouse rules, but you can create your own rules. You can create your own vibe, if you know what I mean. Okay, so those are the advantages. Disadvantages. Okay, so here are some of the negative bits about Clubhouse. And not all of these, these are things that you can change. You've got control over some of these. But the first thing that I don't particularly like is sometimes in some rooms it's the same people get to speak, and often it's the loud and confident ones. So this is kind of no difference really different to real life. But what happens is the really confident ones put their hands up and they get in there and they keep talking and it's yeah. So we get that that element a little bit. But again, if you create your own room, you don't have that so much. Now there is the potential for cliques. I think some people pronounce that clicks, but cliques and people starting to maybe feel left out. So I think we've got to be careful about that. And I'll talk a little bit more about how we can do that, not to do that in a bit. Big thing. So Katie talked about this. It requires your time and being there at the specific time. So if people are talking about, if you see people, particular person, like Elon Musk was on the other night. Now, I knew that was happening, but I wanted to spend time with my family. So I just, but I did have that pressure. But so you need to be there at that time in order to see it or to hear it, because there is no replay. And there's a great article actually by Mark Schaefer. Mark Schaefer talks about the positives, but he actually talks about quite a few of the negatives. And he talks about the fact that Clubhouse is synchronous. So it's happening right now, and it will not happen again. There is no replay. If you're not there, you will miss that conversation. Now, that is a really good thing, because I think it allows you to be more transparent and raw and authentic, but it's also a really kind of like annoying thing as well. But I think that's more of a positive thing than a negative. But the downside is that you end up just being sucked in and spending all your time there. This is a thing that this next one is something that I feel really strongly about. And rooms can feel a little bit of a them and us, or a top-down affair. Now, I've never been a big fan of conferences where the speakers get a separate room. And, the speakers are full of their own self-importance, so they don't really speak to any of the other people. And Clubhouse rooms can be a little bit like that if you're not too careful. So it can be this them and us, or a top-down affair. You've got the important people on the stage at the top, while the plebs are at the bottom. And, I think we've got to be very, very careful that we don't have that kind of feeling in our rooms. So, as I said before, there are some rules. There's quite a few rules. I'm not going to go through those, except for the fact that you can't record rooms without the permission of speakers. And so that's why I'm not going to be going into random rooms, and letting you hear the audio. That's not allowed. I know it wouldn't be the right thing to do. So if you want to find out more about Clubhouse, you need to go to either clubhouse.co. That is the website, and you can download the app. So that's what you need to do. I can see Shonich is here saying, I'm an old hat. My iPod says I require iOS 13 or later. Oh, that's annoying, Shonich. Yeah, you obviously need the latest or nearly latest version of iOS for that. My iPad I've got an iPad version 3. There's no way that's going to work on it, but my iPhone works, and yeah, so sorry about that, Shonich, but there is, I don't know whether you've got an iPhone or an Android phone, but Android is coming. So if you're an Android user at the moment, don't worry about it. It will come. So how do you join? It is invite only at the moment, so you have to be invited. I've got about 2 or 3 invites left, so if you are interested in being invited, then just pop your name in the comments. I can't guarantee I can give you an invite, but that's what you do. So yeah, so you've got that choice. You either get invited, or what you can do is, if you go to clubhouse.co, you can download the app and reserve your username. And I would definitely do that. Reserve your username. Now, if you have friends who use Clubhouse, then your name will pop up, and they will, if they have invites left, they might be able to let you in. So that's pretty cool that you can do that. So let's open Clubhouse. Let's get it on my phone. And if you're listening to the podcast, I will do my best to explain what I'm seeing on the screen here. So let's see. So there might be a slight delay here. So Clubhouse, that is the logo there. And apparently they're changing this, the icon each time there's a depending on the team member that they're wanting to highlight. So I don't know who on the Clubhouse team this is, but he's got a guitar there. And here is the main screen here. So first of all, though, I want to go into my profile, because I think this is really, really important to think about your profile. So let's look at that, the profile at the top right. So, okay, so you can see, first of all, I've got my picture there, my photo, and I've also got, it shows you how many followers I've got and how many people you're following. Now, don't get addicted by the vanity statistics. Don't compare yourself with others. Oh my goodness. And I have to admit, I've been doing that a little bit. I've been looking, I need a few more followers and all this kind of stuff, but just don't do that. So you can actually click on your followers, and then you can, so these are people that are following me that I'm not following. So I can go down and just make sure that I am actually following. So I'm going to follow Hani there. I know Hani. I tend to try and follow people I know. And then if I'm in a room that I really like what people are saying, and I feel we've got a synergy there, then I'll follow them. And then you can see all the people I'm following there, as well as clubs at the top. More about that in a minute. Now, this is really important, and this is your bio. Make sure you fill in your bio as early on as you can, and make it as full as possible. That's really important. And you can just click on that and then just edit it in here. So a bit of a hack here. Make sure that a good idea is to update this in a different app. and then copy and paste it in, because you don't have the ability for emojis, or actually you can do paragraphs now. You never used to be able to do that. But I just kind of put a little bit more about yourself, make it really casual as well. And one little tip at the bottom is that you can actually just put little arrows down towards your Instagram profile. More about that in a bit. So make sure you fill your profile as soon as possible. Make it nice and full. The bio doesn't have any clickable links, but do make sure that you put in keywords in there that people are going to search for, such as where you live. So I for example, I'm saying I'm from the UK. I'm British. My specialism, I'm talking about live video a lot of the time. And then do put your Instagram and Twitter handle. You also see at the bottom the person that nominated you. So Amy Aram nominated me, so she was very kind of enough to invite me onto the platform, which is awesome. And that reminds me that the way that people can send you a direct message is actually through Instagram. So they would just click on that and then click on your Instagram profile and then send you a message that way, which is awesome. Let's go back to Clubhouse. So that's how that happens. Now let's go back to this, which is the main feed. This is sometimes called the hallway. So if you're listening to the podcast, this is the main feed. And here, basically, I can see which, I've got some scheduled events coming up. I can see mine is there as well. And then I've also got some rooms that I'm following. So you've got Clubhouse. So you've got the active rooms, first of all, ones that are happening at the moment. Then you've got Clubhouse clubs. More about that in a minute. You've got your scheduled rooms. And of course, you can join these. So, for example, and now let me just make sure that I'm muting this so we're not. Okay, can you still hear me? I think you can. So let's just click on this one. I don't think that, that's muted. So it says actually at the top there, sharing recordings without speaker's permission violates the community guidelines and will result in suspension. So I'm not doing that at the moment. You won't be able to hear the audio. But that's a room that I've joined there. So yeah, a bit more about that in a bit. But yes, at the bottom, you can click on the plus and you can ping other people into the room, which is cool. I can also put my hand up if I want to go into the speakers part of this and say something, which is great. And I can also leave quietly. So I'm just going to leave that. It doesn't notify anyone that I've left, but that's how you do that. Okay, the next thing is about the main screen. Let's look at the top. So first of all, we've got search facility. So you can search for people in a particular category. I can search for people who talk about live video, for example. Let's do that. So I can see lots of people there like Kim Garst, who I'm already following, I think, which is awesome. So that's how you do that. And then we've got the invite option here. So this is how I invite people onto the app. And just to say, the only way to invite somebody is if they are a contact on your phone, and they will receive an SMS, a text message for you, from you, to be able to add onto the system. Then we've got, this is the click on the calendar icon, and for some reason this wasn't working before, but it's working now. This is showing scheduled Clubhouse rooms that are happening, so I can just go through those, which is great. And I can also create a scheduled event just by clicking on the little plus icon on the right, and I can put the event name, I can add a co-host, dates and time and things like that, which is great. And then obviously put a description as well. So that's how you do that. Now, the next one is that if you click the bell, I can click on the activity. So I can see basically these are people who followed me or events that are happening. I can add my interests and things like that. So this is really cool. This is a great way to see who is following you and to interact with people. I can see that Daniel Shaw is waiting to join Clubhouse, so I can invite him in. I'm not going to do that right now, but I will do that maybe later. And you can also add your interests as well. So just a little bit more about that. If I add my interests, I can then just say what I'm interested in here, and that helps you find rooms that you're maybe interested in as well. Final thing just on this is you can also go to your settings. So go to your profile, click on the cog on the top right, and then you can edit your interests. You can put your notifications off or on. I have them off, and see what's new, and also connect or disconnect your Twitter and Instagram apps. Awesome. Right. Well, there's so much more to talk about, but I'm actually going to join that room, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this as I do that. I can also see some fabulous people watching. So I can see that Karim is here saying he's going to jump on now, which is awesome. I can also see that Eamon O'Brien is here. Great to see you, Eamon. Morning, Ian. Glad you appeared in my stream today on this topic. Like a lot of speakers, I joined a while ago, but I haven't experimented with Clubhouse yet. This might be just the prompt I need. So, Eamon, I hope we're connected on. I hope that we're connected on Clubhouse. So if you want to pop over, I've got a room that I'm going to be. I've already scheduled it, so that's going to be happening pretty much now. But just to let you know that this show is also sponsored by my friends at Restream. I use Restream for all my live shows. It is an amazing app. It is the complete multi-streaming suite for entrepreneurs. It allows you to broadcast to a plethora of different destinations. In fact, over 30 different destinations. So, for example, you can broadcast to YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and as many as you like, depending on the plan that you're on. It's awesome. It integrates with all your favorite tools out there, whether it's the likes of OBS Studio or Ecamm Live, which is what I use. And if you don't want to get that geeky, you can use Restream Studio, which is amazing. In fact, even if you're geeky, it's awesome because it allows you to have up to 9 guests onto your show, and you can do some really, really cool things, such as highlighting comments. And of course, that's the other thing about Restream. You can integrate or see all the different comments from all the different destinations that you broadcast to. So I thank you, Restream, for sponsoring this show. And you can find out more by going to iag.me/Restream. So if you've just joined, this show is the episode 99 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. And I'm talking about, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Clubhouse. And so let's join the room, in fact. So let's go and let's see if I can find my... Yeah, so I want to... Now I'm hoping it's not stopped. That would be really annoying if that's the case. I joined late. So have I... That would be really, really annoying if I've missed my room that I created. Maybe I have. Maybe. So let's just go in here. So I was hoping, up and coming for you, if I click on that My Events, there we go. Right, so I'm going to start the room now. Okay. So there we are. So I'm going to go to music mode. There's a slight delay here. So because I'm actually using a mixer here. I'm using the Rodecaster Pro. So the Rodecaster, if you just joined, I can see that Esther's joined. I'm going live to the Confident Live Marketing Show. This is episode 99. I'm talking about Clubhouse. So it's great to see you here. So if you're just joining me in Clubhouse, that's what this is all about. And I'll bring in some people up in a minute, and we can talk about Clubhouse, which would be really, really great. So I can see that Karim says just got a notification, which is awesome. So yeah, just to let you know, I'm broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube at the same time, and I'm just giving basically a demo of Clubhouse. So it'd be great if you're in Clubhouse and you'd like to get involved, just to remind you that this is going out live. So as well as being able to hear and listen in Clubhouse, this is actually going live on Facebook and YouTube. So I've showed you how to start a room, and you've got the ability to either create a Clubhouse room straight away, or you can schedule it, which is what I did today. And there are different types of rooms that you can create. There's an open room, a social room, a closed room, and a club room. So the open room is you can basically start a room. It's open to all, whether they're your connections or not. And then you've got a closed social room. Social room is starting a room with that only your connections will see and be able to get involved with. And then a closed room is a room with you're starting a room with people that you choose. So that's more for those intimate conversations. And then, of course, you've got clubs, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit. And then you've got the ability to add a topic as well. So I do recommend that you add a topic, let people know what you're talking about. And I did that for today so that people who've just joined know that this is actually being broadcast live and what this is going to be about. When you schedule a room, it also gives you the ability to add more options, for example, like adding a co-host as well. Layout of the room. So you can see this at the moment. So at the moment, this is the room, the layout of the room. You've got the stage, and this is where I am at the moment. So this is where the active speakers are. And you can see that I'm the room host or the moderator. If you're listening to the podcast, obviously you can't see this, but I've got a little green star underneath. And so I'm the only speaker at the moment. I'm going to be bringing people up in a minute. So that is the stage. I kind of don't like the word stage because it is a little bit of this them and us thing. So, you've got the important people, the so-called important people at the top, and all the unimportant people at the bottom. And I don't like giving that impression. I think I'm more for engaging with everybody and making everyone feel welcome. But anyway, that's just the way it is. That's the terminology. So you got this, you got the stage, you got this, and then following me, you can see underneath we've got the wonderful Sarah there. So Sarah Clay, there you can see. I can click on her and I can see everything about her. And Sarah's awesome. So she is in the speakers segment, and that's because we've interacted before. So those are the people that have interacted with the speakers before. So they get kind of preferential treatment. And then you've got the wonderful people at the bottom, but you're just as important to me, even though you are at the bottom, you're the audience. And so that's everybody else. Now I can see that Sarah has got something. So she's actually put her hand up. I'm going to bring her in a minute. So that's one of the things that you can do. At the bottom, you've got the ability to put your hand up, and then that will notify the speakers or the moderator to be able to ask you to bring them in. Before I do that, Sarah, just a few other things that I want to mention. Some of the lingo that people talk about. Some speakers and moderators will talk about, please, PTR. And that basically means they're asking you to pull down to refresh. So you're basically pulling this down, and then this will refresh the people in the room as well. You've got a little plus at the bottom. This allows you to ping other people into the room. So I'm going to just do this, actually. I'm going to remind these people. I can see Eamon's there. Lisa from Australia is still here. My goodness. I could go on for forever here, but I'm just that's probably enough for now. So that's how you do that. And just before I bring in Sarah, just a few other things. When you come in as a speaker, and I know Sarah's going to do this because she's a pro, make sure that you mute yourself straight away. You can also have the ability to kind of show appreciation as a speaker, by clapping. Now, the way you clap is to mute yourself off and on. So obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you wouldn't have seen that. But basically, you see my microphone coming on and off, and that allows me to show my appreciation for other people. That's a bit of a Clubhouse thing. Some etiquette things. Don't hog the room. Make sure that you're, as somebody who's being asked to speak, that you ask questions as well as giving advice. Don't record. Be nice, be kind, and give value. And remember that as a host, you're the facilitator. So in today's room, this is a bit different. I'm actually not doing much facilitating, but I think it's your job as the host to facilitate, to actually it's not so much for you to give value, although it can be, but it's you to actually just allow people in the room to speak. Don't treat the stage as a stage. Make everyone feel welcome. So I'm going to click on this little hand icon at the bottom, and I can see this is, so raised hands is open to everybody. I'm going to bring in Sarah first of all. Now, hopefully, this is going to work. Just 1 second. I just need to unmute the phone thing first, and hopefully this is going to work. So so Sarah is now here. Sarah, can you say something?
Hello, it worked.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent. The tech works. It's great when that happens. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm great, Ian. Thank you. Although I've got an echo on my phone, which is slightly annoying.
Oh, is that an echo when you speak?
Yes, you're fine. I think it's probably an issue with my phone. I'm going to ignore it and just carry on.
Well, it's interesting. So when I muted myself, did the echo stop?
Do you know it did? Yes, it did. And that's one of the things about Clubhouse, which is slightly annoying. And I know that the Clubhouse, important people have been notified that what people have requested that when we come up onto the stage, we're automatically muted rather than having to mute ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I put apologies for the echo thing. I think that's probably me. I'm using a fancy mixer, which is probably I need to fiddle around with it. So apologies for that. That's all me. But yeah, it's interesting. They are adding new features all the time. But Sarah, I'd love to know, because you've used Clubhouse quite a bit. I see you popping in and out and speaking a lot. What's your could you share some of your thoughts on the pros and cons? What are the really good things? What are the not so good things about Clubhouse?
Oh, sorry. That one of the not so good things is sometimes it takes about 3 presses before you unmute yourself. So often there's a gap between speakers. So I couldn't quite hit the button properly, but that's a very minor thing. I'm loving Clubhouse, but I will qualify my love by advising that what happens is when you first join Clubhouse, you want to be in every room, you want to be there all the time, blah, 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 blah. And it's an absolute time suck. So what I now do, I've turned off my notifications and I check when I've got some time, I'll check and see which rooms I want to go into, what things interest me, rather than spending ages hopping from room to room to room. And I liken it to a little bit like being at a massive rave where you can go into all the different rooms, the different styles of music. And then when you've found the one you like or the ones you like, stick to those and just be a bit more laser focused where you hang out on Clubhouse.
Those are really good tips, Sarah, and that's kind of how I felt. When you first join Clubhouse, you can be like a little kid in a sweetie shop or a candy shop, and I think you need to be a bit more laser focused, and that's what I want to do. I will join rooms, but I'm more interested in the smaller rooms. I think the more intimate rooms, and also creating my own rooms. So one thing I am thinking about is to create my own rooms after my live shows and have a little party kind of atmosphere afterwards. So I don't know what you think about that, Sarah. I'm also going to bring in Kaz as well, who's put his hand up. Sorry about that, Kaz. So Sarah, what are you going to say?
You were asking me if I like a party? Yes, of course. I love a party.
A silly thing to say. Silly. So
but no, seriously, what I think this platform is really good for is offering your advice. I think it's such a great platform for being kind to people, offering your not your services, but your knowledge to people. And I think that's how this platform is going to win. And then what is also a good thing to do is try to take the connections away from Clubhouse and build them somewhere else. So I'm LinkedIn, obviously I'm always on LinkedIn. So I try to, when I connect with somebody here on Clubhouse, I'm on my LinkedIn as well on my computer. I'll find them on LinkedIn and I'll send them a direct message saying, great to chat with you or hear you on Clubhouse. Try to build that relationship. And I know it's got the direct link to Instagram. So that's another way that you can build on the relationships in Clubhouse elsewhere on other platforms.
That's a really good tip. Thank you, Sarah, for that. And so that is the way that you connect with people is primarily on Instagram, but you can it's a really good idea to take people off the platform, to build your community, not on Clubhouse. That's the way you can facilitate it, but build that community outside of Clubhouse. Just before I bring in Kaz, I've got a question on Facebook from Caroline Burwood Randall, who says, what is the etiquette on leaving the room? What is leave quietly over just leaving? And how do you step out politely when you've been invited to speak and need to leave? That's such a good question, actually. And I do feel a bit nervous sometimes leaving a room. I used to. Now I just leave it because it doesn't notify anyone. You just pop away. It's maybe easier on a bigger room because it's not so obvious, but I think it's okay. People understand that you need to leave. And as a speaker, you can always just say, sorry guys, I've got to go, or just leave. You know, people understand that. It's totally okay. So Kaz, just before I bring you in, just to let you know, this is where I'm broadcasting this out on Facebook and YouTube. So this is a live show. So as long as you're okay with that, be great to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Clubhouse?
Hey Ian, thanks for having me, and really great how you're doing this in terms of the live streaming across the channels and also integrating Clubhouse. I think it's a great idea. In terms of Clubhouse, I mean, I was quite new to it. I think I've only been on it about a week or so still getting used to it. Initially, I wasn't sure about it. I thought, why would you do Clubhouse? Surely you just jump on a Zoom call, or surely you do a video chat or a Teams or something related. But then you realize that the whole point is that it makes it easier for people who are not prepared. Like now, I'm working at my screens, wearing my t-shirt. I'm not really in office mode. I'm just getting a few admin jobs done today. But I can jump on here without having to worry, oh, what's the background look like? Do I need to do my hair? Do I need to dress up? Do I need to do this? Or the kid's going to run in any minute. There's so many different things you would have to think about. Here, it's really relaxed. You jump in, you jump out. You can, like you say, put yourself on mute, so you can still be listening to it like the radio. And I've almost kind of, from in my mind now, it feels a bit like WhatsApp audio. So you feel like you're on WhatsApp, but you can do it on audio. I think, and as a newbie, I don't know if this has been mentioned before, but I think the only thing mentioned is like an appreciation button or an acknowledgement button. Like, so when the speakers is saying something, not from a vanity point of view, but if you say something that I think, yeah, that's a great comment, I really like that, it'd be great for the audience to have some sort of appreciation or clap button. I know you said you can do the mute button on and off if you're a speaker, but for us as the audience, like if you go to an event, we either clap or you see people nodding their head or something. So I think in time, maybe they'll do that, but I think that would be really good. So the speakers know what content the audience are listening to and what's been most appreciated. And as I mentioned, it's not from a vanity point of view for the speaker, it's more of an acknowledgement, if you like. But yeah, first time I've been on, so yeah, pretty much enjoying it, and I like it. I can see why it works.
That's awesome, Kaz. Thank you. So sorry, there's probably a bit of an echo on your end when I unmute myself, but the really good comments, and thank you so much for coming up on the stage, because I don't know about you, the first time I did it, I was a little bit nervous, but you make a really good point that the thing is that this is audio only. So one time I was actually washing the dishes while I was doing this, you know, and it's great. And then I was asked to speak, so I had to kind of stop and get into position to actually kind of think about what I was going to say. And I was a bit flustered the first time, but it's great. I mean, we wouldn't, Kaz, we wouldn't have had a chat like this if it wasn't for Clubhouse. We could have booked a Zoom call. But it's just great. You get the ability to connect with so many other people that you wouldn't really, necessarily connect with. So I can see, just before I bring in Eamon, I could just see a few other comments on the live feed. So Caroline says, thank you for commenting. My pleasure. And Eamon is actually commenting. He's multitasking. I'm so impressed, Eamon. So interesting this morning. Just wondering if it is possible to hear chats you've missed. Are they archived and accessible in any way? And that's one of the things I mentioned earlier, that it's a disadvantage, and also an advantage of Clubhouse is that there is no replay. It is just purely live. So that's a downside. You have this FOMO, this thing, if you miss a chat, that's it. But the advantage of that is that I think these conversations are more intimate, and I think people say things. Obviously, today's different because I'm obviously broadcasting this, but in most rooms, they're quite intimate, and people will just say a little bit more what's on their thoughts a little bit more. And Katie Simpson says, you also have to be careful, so careful that you don't accidentally touch the notification on your phone as you immediately go to the room. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize this. See, I've got notifications switched off. And Katie says, I get inundated with tons of notifications as I follow a number of people who are always on there. So, Eamon, what's your thoughts on Clubhouse?
Yeah, I love the idea of Clubhouse, and I can see that you can have great conversations there. And what I'm just wondering about is, I suppose a bit like when you do a Facebook Live, if people want to know that you're doing something, you have to kind of tell them in advance, because it doesn't seem to me that it's just kind of like an interruption marketing type thing, isn't it? Where, you might be interested, you might not be interested in the conversation. You might be coming into it midstream, who knows, what have you. So I get the notification, I suppose. But how much notification do you get in advance of when somebody does actually do a session?
Well, I've not played around with it too much. I mean, I think it's that at the moment there are so many notifications that we get from Clubhouse, but I think it depends on how many people you're connected to. So, like most networks, if you're only connected to a few people, then you'll probably get all of those notifications in advance. But yeah, I mean, the notifications go down if you go. I mean, I won't do it now. In fact, well, actually, I can. So I can actually leave. I don't have to leave the room. I can still use the app and carry on chatting. And I can click on, for example, the up and coming thing icon at the top, and then I can go down and see what's coming next. I can also click on the notification bell, and I can see what's happening. So you can still do that, but I don't really know. I don't know exactly how the notifications work. Just before I bring you back, Eamon, just I can see that Marcus Boswell is saying, aren't you concerned about breaking the rules of Clubhouse regarding broadcasting live? And absolutely, that's one of the things that I said right at the beginning of this. So it's really important that you ask permission. So everybody who is speaking here knows that this is being broadcasted live. I've made it very, very clear in the room. And this is not something that I would normally do. I'm not going to be broadcasting this live, my Clubhouse rooms live on a regular basis. The only reason I'm doing this today is because I'm demonstrating how to use Clubhouse to my live audience as well. So thank you for that, Marcus. Yeah, he says, aren't you bothered about crossing the streams? One of the cool things about Clubhouse is that it's live, and once you miss it, that's it, rather than broadcasting it. So totally, Marcus, this is a one-off, and everyone knows that I'm broadcasting this live. Eamon, any more thoughts before we finish?
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's pretty interesting actually that you can't actually hear yourself as you do this. But anyway, yeah. So I think that just in terms again of who you're connecting with, and like opening conversations to people that you especially think would be interesting and interested, that I'm really interested in how you build up audience for any conversation you're going to have. And are you doing anything different to what you do, for example, for your live Facebooks?
Yeah, so I've not spent a huge amount of time yet on growing my audience on Clubhouse, but one of the things that I'm wanting to do is to set aside each week maybe 1 or 2 hours to join rooms, but also to create my own room. So maybe 1 or 2 per week to actually host and facilitate. I prefer the word facilitate because I want to actually hear from other people. I don't want it just to be about me. I want to create that community. So the one thing that you can do is if you schedule your event, your room, you can actually then promote that on social media. So you can then send that out on email and on Twitter and things like that. And but actually, what I found is sometimes I just create a room and some random people, not random, but some lovely people join, and you can have these amazing conversations. So I can see we've got 5 or 6 people we've got in the audience. It'd be great in a minute once I finish the live show for you to maybe get involved and have that conversation with us. But I love that. I love that bit about it. Does that make sense, Eamon?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I was just multitasking there, sending you a note. I love that notion of just setting aside so you don't have this time suck, a specific amount of time to get involved in other chats and hear what other people are doing, and also to facilitate chats. So if you don't mind, I'm going to borrow that strategy because I think that's exactly the smart way to go.
I think it's the only way. I've seen so many people get sucked into this, and that's not what I want to be. I don't know. Sometimes I don't like using the word strategic, but I think it's really important to be strategic with this and to focus on, on using it the right way. I'm just going to finish the live show. So just if you're in the
Ian, can I just add something?
Of course you can.
Sorry,
That's
I've
all
also
right.
got to go. So, Eamon, another really good way to try and encourage more people to know about who you are. Two things you can do actually on Clubhouse itself. Sorry, I am printing in the background. I don't know if that's annoying. One thing you can do is, if you have got a room of your own and you're set up a room, make sure that you have it on your bio, on your Clubhouse bio. And the other thing is, when you're in a room, whether you're speaking or moderating, modding as it is becoming called, or whatever, you can ping all of the people who you're connected to on Clubhouse into that room. And it's a really good way of just sort of, extending the reach of where you are and telling people where you are. So it's really easy to do, just to ping all the people that, as I say, you're following, to come into the room where you are.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Sarah. And you can do that. Actually, why don't you do that now? Just if you're actually in the Clubhouse room at the moment, just click on the plus at the bottom, and then you can invite people onto this. Not this about making a massive room. As I said before, I'm more interested in the smaller, intimate gatherings, but that would be great. And if you just joined either the live or Clubhouse, just to let you know, I'm broadcasting this to Facebook and YouTube, and as basically because I'm giving a demonstration on how you use it. All the speakers know that this is being broadcast, so I'm not breaking any rules. Clubhouse makes it very, very clear that you should not record this unless you have permission from the speakers. But I'm just going to end the live show, and if you're in Clubhouse, it'd be great to carry on the conversation afterwards. So if you just bear with me as we do that. So, well, thank you so much if you've been watching the live show or listening to the podcast. I really, really appreciate that. But we are out of time. So just to let you know, this Thursday is my 100th episode of the Confident Live Marketing Show. I'll be going live at 3 p.m. in the UK this Thursday. So please join me for that. It's a 3-hour extravaganza. We have got loads and loads of prizes. In fact, there's over $15,000 worth of live streaming and podcasting equipment that's being given away. It's amazing. So if you want, there's still time to enter that giveaway just by going to confident.live/giveaway and just comment on that video, and the Facebook Messenger bot will spring into action. Do check out the podcast at iag.me/podcast, but we're out of time. Can't wait to see you soon. This has been the Confident Live Marketing Show, and I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.